American Financing, saving homeowners over $800 every month by using your home's equity to pay off high-interest debt. American Financing, America's home for home loans. AmericanFinancing.net/progress. Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network.
You see, he's back on Twitter. Only in Trump's demented mind is going back on the platform that helped you lose in 2020 help you. This is unbelievable. Like, he's back on Twitter tweeting stuff. I don't think we're learning more about the debate now, so it really looks like he might pull out of it.
See?
Look, I was surprised he was going to go along with Vice President Harris. I'm surprised he didn't pull out. Then he said yes. But I think he's deeply concerned because if he screws up at all, or if he just does what he does and lies nonstop, that's the headline across the country. He can't stop lying.
Yeah.
And she starts slamming him on the felonies, having a fundraiser at his country club next week for the January 6th terrorists called the J6 Award Gala.
The J6 Award.
Are you kidding me? The United States of America? This is like bin Laden having a fundraiser for the 9/11 terrorist family 3 years after 9/11 on U.S. soil. This is so beyond the pale to me. The fact that he's been normalized. Donald Trump is a terrorist. January 6th was an act of domestic terrorism. That's what the FBI and DOJ said, not me.
Yeah.
So Donald Trump is the cause of that. And now he's going to have a fundraiser for the families of the terrorists and the terrorists who are in prison. I can't believe this is happening in our nation. I can't believe he walks free. He should be in prison today. And that's where he's going to be after the election's over for the rest of his unnatural life. That's where he belongs. I'm sorry. I had one little rant there. That's not what I usually do.
No.
Me.
I got to talk to Sergeant Aguilino, one of the officers, and it's just, you can see it in their eyes, especially when you talk to them in person. They will be traumatized forever. You know what I've always said, Dean, too? I don't think enough has been said about all the officers that took their own lives after this. That's how traumatic it was. That people died, and they just keep trying to pretend like nothing happened. And I agree. Yeah, I
was with our mutual friend Glenn Kirshner on his event he has, Justice Matters, in D.C. over the weekend. And Officer Daniel Hodges was there, and he spoke. And he spoke about, let's not forget those officers who took their own lives afterwards, because they should be in a list of people who died. They only died because of what they went through on January 6th by Trump supporters. That's 100% correct.
Yep.
You look like you had fun at the convention.
I know.
All the pictures. You look like the time of your lives.
We were laughing off air because you were the only one that didn't go, I think, from SiriusXM, and you called yourself the designated survivor. That had we all been taken out. Right. Pretty much, SiriusXM Progress would have been the Dean Obeidallah show. From
beginning to end, from 6 a.m. to midnight with Dean Obeidallah. That's it. I'll take nap breaks. I'll have a lunch. I can negotiate a better contract. I wasn't dreaming of that. But if that were to happen, I would have taken advantage of it completely.
Our mutual boss, Dave Gorab, thought it was very funny. You'll just be like, I'll be taking Zerlina Maxwell and Stephanie Miller and John Fugel saying Michelangelo Signorelli's slots. I'll be taking all of them now.
I was Cinderella. I was like Cinderfella. I was cleaning the studios and everything. When they come back, it's going to be so shiny and clean.
Well,
we had fun in New York. We did our own thing in New York. It worked out well.
It was amazing, but it was exhausting, Dean. I mean, as you can imagine, it is a lot, to do remote broadcasts anyway. But the excitement was real. I mean, we're running out of words, right? Just electric. The whole thing was electric all week.
Well, I mean, Carrie Lake and the others are saying it's all AI and fake. And
sure.
This is all. She was calling Kamala Harris a dud of a candidate and all this stuff. I'm like, you live in your own world. Like, maybe in their world they actually believe that. I mean, that's what we miss. Sometimes we mock them, but in their media world, they actually think there was nobody there. There wasn't real excitement. It was dark. They were angry and all that. When it was the most joyful convention I've ever watched.
I can tell you there were no teleprompters that said "get off the stage" like hers did in Arizona. I just love. It's like a comedian going too long through the red light. Right? Get off stage now. Seriously, Carrie, get the off. Okay, Carrie, get out. Donald Trump is waiting. Like, you can see the teleprompter getting increasingly frantic. Right?
It was watching it from. You were there, so it's different. Watching the feed, and we were on live because my show's 6 p.m. Eastern, so we would pick it up at the feed at 6:30 each night and dip in all the time.
Yeah.
And like all of a sudden we're having a guest on, and I'm watching in the corner the roll call vote, and I'm like, is that Little John running through the aisle?
We have a DJ.
So we had to stop the guest. I'm like, we got to play this now. We came back, we played it like that. They made that fun. And the roll calls usually these boring thing like was Wyoming, the state of the cowboy, cast 12 votes.
Did you see the side by side was hilarious?
Yeah.
I mean, who wouldn't want to pick that? Who wouldn't want to pick that party? It's joy and fun and laughter, right? And
I agree.
Yeah. I love, you were asking too about is there polling out? There is not yet, but I just love the Trump, Stephanie Grisham, obviously, who made waves at the convention last week, mocked Trump after he boasted about being up in one poll. So Rasmussen. Yes, hey, have you seen Rasmussen? That's the only one that, he said 5 points up over Kamala in the just released Rasmussen poll. Stephanie Grisham said Rasmussen was the only poll he asked about that we told him about because it was always in his favor, she wrote, adding a cry laughing emoji. There could have been 35 polls saying he was losing and all he cared about was Rasmussen. We used it as an easy way to keep him happy. Hashtag the emperor has no clothes. So right now, I guess 538, Harris, they have her up almost 4 points as of August 23rd. That's before a convention bump.
Right. And by the way, 538 does not even include Rasmussen anymore because they went through the methodology. They had questions. They asked them, can you answer these questions? They refused to answer them. So they have real questions about the legitimacy of the polling, as we all do. Same thing like with Trafalgar. There's another one out there. And those are the right-wing polls that skew the averages. It's still going to be a close election. But I'm looking forward to a bounce in the polls. But everybody in the swing states, every vote matters. And I love that. That was a point made. I wrote an article for my Substack yesterday about joy is a strategy.
Thank
you.
In
that article,
I have it right in front of me. I have it highlighted.
Joy is not a strategy. Joy is a strategy.
Yes.
And you go to your mind, of course, it's a strategy. And then it's turning that vibe into votes. That's the point of my article. It's turning the vibe into votes and get everyone out.
Right.
Every speaker said that. Like, no one's like, let's feel good. Everyone go home. We won this. Lock it up. See you November 6th. No, it was November 5th is election day. We'll see you then, and the lead up to that, and this is going to be close, and people understand it won't be a blowout. Don't freak out when we don't have a declared winner on November 5th at night, or maybe even November 6th. Or
Please, let's make sure we do.
It's going to be close. We live in a nation that's hyper-polarized. There's a lot of people who want white supremacy. There are people who want to go back. They truly do. And there are billionaires who want the tax cut, so they're all in for Donald Trump. It's going to be close, but we are going to win.
Yeah.
People should believe that. We are going. I'm not telling you to make you feel good.
Dean,
joy is going to have us win.
Thank you.
It's already real tangible benefits.
You picked out one of my favorite parts of last week when Bill Clinton said Kamala Harris would be the president of joy. He said, I was the man from hope. But you were talking about the New York Times immediately trying to harsh our buzz, saying, she didn't lay out policy details, which she did. But, you went on to say joy, like hope, is absolutely a strategy. And to be candid, so is Donald Trump's strategy of hate and anger. Here's the spoiler alert. Joy will win in 2024. And you're absolutely right. Yes. That's his only play is the opposite, is hate and fear.
That's what look, let's not play games. Joy and hope are an intentional strategy by Democrats because they believe that'll work. Trump, it's the mirror. It's anger, it's viciousness, it's cruelty, it's racism and sexism. That's what gets their base out. But look at the results of Joy in a week. She raised over $80 million in the week of the DNC.
Yeah.
As I note in the article, we learned that yesterday. Over 200,000 new volunteer shifts signed up that week. And joy equals enthusiasm. Enthusiasm equals people coming out and voting. That's how you win elections. It's not just the fear was not enough. I was really worried with Biden that the only thing we had really going was this kind of fear of Trump, which is still there and it should be there. But now we have the joy of Kamala and Walz, plus we have to defeat the fear and destroy MAGA. This election, we have to destroy MAGA.
By the way, we got to hang out with Governor Pritzker at Sexy Liberal. Josh Shapiro, who we just played, was great. But she absolutely made the right choice in Tim Walz. He absolutely matches this moment. And it's the first brilliant decision of hers that, on top of not talking to Bobby Kennedy. But you just said last week's DNC was a buffet of joy. Oprah declared, let us choose joy. President Obama said, we want to be better, and the joy and excitement we're seeing around this campaign tells us we are not alone. You said, in fact, the word joy was proclaimed close to 100 times by speakers at the DNC, less than 5 times at the RNC. And that was probably only to beat up on Joy Reid. But
right, exactly.
I'm just kidding. No, they didn't.
Exactly.
Okay.
No, you're absolutely right.
But
the New York Times actually did a word count, and I found it really intriguing. I cited it in my article. the word count of all the words said, the big words said Republicans were invasion, crime, rape, murder. It was the darkest convention ever by design. Everyone has said it's not happenstance. Those speeches were approved. That's what the message they wanted.
You talked about just the placards, just the signs. Ours were for our future. Thank you, Joe. Freedom. Their signs were mass deportation now. Stop Biden's border bloodbath. Fire Joe Biden. They're just, it's all just negative and fear mongering. And you said the vice president in the vein of Coach Tim Walz then gave the ultimate pep talk. So let's get out there. Let's fight for it. Let's get out there. Let's vote for it. And together, let us write the next great chapter in the most extraordinary story ever told. I loved that. And then you just said, we have joy. We have hope. Now it's time we all follow Michelle Obama's words to ensure we win this election. Do something. This is how we win. And then I can assure you we can feel even more joy than today. That really sums up the week perfectly. And you were only the designated survivor. You weren't even there.
I wasn't even. I'm at home writing. I'm just pooping articles out because I'm at home. I had downtime. You guys work. No, I know. Like Michelangelo Signorelli, it's work from the morning to the night. People don't get it. It's not like you show up for your shift. Yeah. You know, we all do prep. People understand that when you're there. You're there, and you went to events. You went to the luncheon I saw, which was really cool. Yeah, you're networking. Did you go to parties at night too? Did you stay up late?
No. Well, no. I went to the convention the last night, and I was on with Fugelsang for a little bit during his shift. But no, it is nonstop and just sensory overload. But you know, to your point about Coach Walz, so loved his speech too. So again, joyful, happy warrior. And I thought this summed up everything you need to know about Donald Trump. The next day, did you see all he said is he was only an assistant coach. Like, he's just such a small, petty man. First of all, you know what you call them coach.
Right.
Assistant coach, line coach, whoever, they're coach. I'm like, really? This is 40 years ago. Yeah. This is all you've got is to quibble over that he wasn't the head coach. Who cares?
They're gonna be like, he said he coached track and field. He only coached track. That's ridiculous. These people are liars. Like everything about Walz, he's a liar. The guy served 24 years in the National Guard. He re-upped. Yeah, you know, you have JD Vance abandoned his company after 4 years, if you want to look at it that way. I still say any service is amazing, to be honest. But the idea of trying to find one thing Walz said in a campaign in 2018 and go, you see, he's a liar because he misspoke about one thing. Anyone who served 24 years for our country, he was sent away from his family in Europe and Turkey.
And by the way,
Operation Enduring Freedom. His life was on the line when you're out of our country carrying weapons, even though you're not. Anything can happen on a base.
Nobody on our side brought up his service, nor would we have. You know, it's him criticizing Tim Walz's 24 years of honorable service that made a lot of people go, oh, please, you served 6 months in an air-conditioned tent. I mean, the fact that he had the balls to even say anything is just, you know, I mean, it's so despicable. And then Trump just, every time he tries to make something better, he just makes it worse. Stuff he says about veterans, right? American Financing, saving homeowners over $800 every month by using your home's equity to pay off high-interest debt. American Financing, America's home for home loans. AmericanFinancing.net/progress.